Welcome to IAS Project. This is our first lecture for Indian Economy course of UPSC Civil Services Exam. Let's get started. Before going into what Indian economy is or what simply economy is, we need to understand what economics is. Let's look at some of the definitions given below. If we refer to the books of Indian economy, you will find many definitions for what economics is. However, most of those definitions can be condensed into four simple definitions like this. So let's see what these four definitions are. The first definition was given by Adam Smith in 1776. Let's say this is one of the oldest definitions for economics. Adam Smith called economics as an inquiry into nature and causes of wealth of nations. Inquiry here simply means a study. Let's look at the second definition. Economics is a study of resources and their various aspects here. And the aspects are demand and supply, scarcity and abundance. It is also a study of creation, distribution and consumption of goods and services. The third definition is economics is a study. So if we see all these definitions, we see a common object called study here. So economics is basically a study. So in the third definition, it is study of how people try to satisfy their seemingly unlimited wants through the scarce resources. We can see some keywords like unlimited, scarce, and the word used is wants. Why are the wants unlimited? Because it is in human nature that if we get something, we want more. For example, if I have a bike, I may wish for a car. If I have a small car, I may wish for a SUV. If I have an SUV, I may wish for a sports car. So this is in human nature itself and it is very much inherent in us. So the wants are always unlimited. And the word here is wants. It is not needs. Needs are essential things for human beings. For example, air, food, water, happiness, satisfaction, clothing, shelter, and all these are called as needs because without them we cannot survive for long. However, wants are not needs. Without wants also we can survive. For example, let's say gold ornaments or sports car or even iPhone for that matter is a want. It is not a need. You can do the work or any kind of purpose which iPhone is solving with other phones also. So iPhone is basically a want. It is not a need. Economics is more interested in studying wants rather than needs because every human being has to fulfill in some way or other the needs. They may or may not fulfill the wants, however, they will try to fulfill those wants. Although the resources are scarce. For example, let's say iPhone is releasing a new model and it will be available in the markets from tomorrow onwards. There will be only a limited number of iPhones which will be available tomorrow. However, if we look at the number of people who are trying to buy those iPhones, there are many or there are a lot of them. So economics is concerned with the scarce resources and the people whose wants are literally unlimited. Let's go into the fourth definition. Fourth definition says economics is a study that deals with various aspects of factors of production. So what are factors of production? We will learn about factors of production in the coming slides shortly. So economics is a study that deals with various aspects of factors of production and consumers. One thing is very common in all four definitions given here. It is that economics is a study. So economics is basically a science which conducts study and study into what? It studies resources, goods and aspects. It studies about wealth. It studies about wealth of nations. It studies about people also, how people try to satisfy their wants and needs. It studies about scarce resources especially. Although it also studies about abundant resources also, but economics is mostly interested or eager to learn about scarce resources and how those scarce resources are distributed among people. In the fourth definition also we see economics is a study. It studies about factors of production and consumers. Let's move on. So we have seen what economics is. Let's see now what is economy. There is a small difference between economics and economy. While economics include theory and principle, that is, It is related to study. Economy, however, involves the practical application of principles of economics to an area. Area here needs to be understood as economic area. Economic area simply is a place where production takes place. Production can be of goods and services. Economic area also includes distribution and consumption. Economic area is generally under the effective control of a single government. For example, a country can be called an economic area, or a state can also be called an economic area. Even a village can be called as an economic area if the Gram Panchayat, for example, is regulating the economic activities in that area. So economics is a theoretical aspect, economy is a practical aspect. However, the word economy has very broad aspects also. Let's see here. Economics is study of an economy and all its aspects. So economics is related to study of an economy. So economy is the one that is being studied in the field of economics. Let's look at the first definition here. Economy is also called as an economic system, and economy or economic system is the sum total of activities of production, distribution, consumption, trade of goods and services in an area. Again, in an area. So area is very central to the concept of economy. The word sum total here is often replaced with the word gross in many textbooks. For example, even the word GDP, which means gross domestic product, the letter G, which means gross, simply means sum total. So let's look at the fourth definition. Economy is a state of economic activities within an area. Again, the word area is coming. For example, if someone asks, how is the Indian economy doing after COVID-19 crisis? So the answer is this one. Economy is state of economic activities. That is how Indian economy is doing after COVID crisis. It is also called as economy. Now let's look at factors of production. In the first slide, we have seen that economics is a study that deals with various aspects of factors of production. So what are factors of production exactly? Factors of production are those inputs or those participants which participate in a production process. Now, what is a production process? Production process is something which takes certain resources or inputs and converts them into useful goods and services. This is simply a production process. So what are the factors of production? The factors of production are those inputs which go into the production process. So factors of production are land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Although there may be many kinds of resources and inputs that go into the production process itself, we can categorize those 100 or 1000 inputs into these four categories. The first one is land, second is labor, third is capital, and the fourth is enterprise. Importance of each factor of production may vary depending on the type of product or service that is being produced. For example, consider a farmer who is in, let's say, Tamil Nadu, and he is cultivating rice. Consider in another case, there is an apple farmer who is in, let's say, Kashmir. He is cultivating, let's say, apples. Consider the third person who is, let's say, a software engineer or software designer who is based in a city, let's say Delhi or Bangalore, and he is working from home. Now, if we see the importance of factors of production in the lives of these three people, first let's consider a farmer from Tamil Nadu who is cultivating rice. The importance of land for him is very high. Without land, he cannot cultivate the rice. In the third case, a software designer who is working from home, he does not need land. He can stay at home and he can work from his home. If we consider the second example of an apple farmer who is from Kashmir, requirements from land may be different for apple farmer and rice farmer. They may need different amount of water that is needed to raise the crop. Similarly, if we look at the The labor performed by these two people is majorly unskilled labor. However, for software engineer, it is called as a skilled labor. The requirements of capital also are different for these three people. He may require some advanced softwares or equipments like a laptop or a workstation. These two people may need equipment like tractors or some kind of harvesters or those equipments. The kind of enterprise is also different. Let's look at these factors of production in detail. The first factor of production is land. Land means agricultural land as well as commercial real estate as well as buildings and all other which are built on land. For example, dams and reservoirs and thermal power plants, all those come under land. Land simply does not mean land only. Land also means resources on land like water, metals, minerals, oil and gas, plants, trees, etc. So land also means the resources which are available on the land and beneath the land like petroleum or water. The second factor of production is labor. Labor is an individual's effort which is required to bring a product or service into the market. Labor can be often divided as skilled labor and unskilled labor. Skilled labor or trained labor is also called as human capital. Labor includes the time, money and effort that are spent by the people in order to bring the goods and services into the market. The third factor of production and the most important factor of production from the perspective of developing countries is capital. So developing countries have land as well as labor in enormous quantity. However, they do not have capital. Let's see what capital is. Capital in the form of financial capital is nothing but when money is properly invested. So when money is properly invested, it becomes financial capital. Capital can also be technological capital. It can be human capital. For example, knowledge, skills, as well as experience. When the people are properly trained to gain knowledge and skills, it becomes human capital. Capital can be social capital also. Social capital simply means people's networks with each other so that they can mutually trust each other and cooperate in the production activity, that is for production of goods and services. Capital can be civic capital also. Civic capital simply means people working together for rule of law and good governance. For example, courts, police system are examples of civic capital of any country. Capital is used by entrepreneurs to pay for land, labor and capital goods. Mostly they use financial capital for this. The fourth and most important factor of production is enterprise or entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship combines the remaining three factors of production to make a product or service which are useful in the market. Entrepreneurs invest their time, ideas and knowledge. And for their time, ideas and knowledge, they take risks and get profits. Let's look at one of the previous questions which was asked in UPSC Civil Prelims 2019. In the context of any country, which of the following would be considered as part of social capital? Is it the proportion of literates in a population? No, it simply is literacy rate. This is nothing but literacy rate. The stock of its buildings, other infrastructure and machines? No, this is often called as physical capital. The size of population in the working age group? No, this is often called as workforce or workers ratio, and other terms can be used to define these. The level of mutual trust and harmony in the society. Yes, this is correct. Let's look at some more basic concepts of economics. Let's look at what goods are. Goods are tangible items. Tangible simply means you can touch them. Goods are tangible items that have some use, and this use is determined by the user. For example, for a poor person, a food item may be the most useful thing. For a rich person, a sports car may be a useful thing. A poor person may not have any use for sports car, but he may have use for food items. So the word use here must be seen from the point of view of user. So goods are those tangible items that have some use. Examples of goods indicate, for example, a pen and notebook, a chair or a table, a car, a mobile phone, or any kind of appliances that you use in your home. Goods can be of many types. The first one is consumer good. Consumer goods are intended for the final use of individuals. For example, if you go to market and buy, let's say, a soap or a detergent, or let's say some apples, all those are consumer goods because you intend to use those goods as a final person. After you, nobody is going to use those. The second category is durable goods. Durable goods are those goods which have reasonably long life, generally greater than 3 years, and they have to be used on regular basis. For example, a television or a fridge can be considered as durable goods. Third category is non-durable goods. Non-durable goods simply means that those goods which are not durable. For example, clothes. Clothes are not durable. Once you start using and wash them, they get damaged. Let's say after 1 year, you may not wear them anymore. The fourth category is capital goods. Capital goods are those kind of durable goods which are used to produce other goods. For example, heavy machinery. Another example can be a Xerox machine in a Xerox shop. So, if you are using a photocopy machine in a photocopy shop, it is called as a capital good for him, because using that good, he is going to give a service. That is, he is going to copy papers and he is going to sell them. However, if you have a printer at home, it is considered as a durable good. Let's follow up in the next video. Please like and share this video. Also subscribe to IAS Project. Thank you.